yes, you will soon be mine.
Isaac?
Hewy? Hey, how's it going? How much did you see?
Enough.
Right, so, what brings you to my attention?
Just wanted to give you a call to see if you heard anything from Count CGI recently.
Nope, been rather quiet here lately. Nothing out of the ordinary.
Odd?
Why, what's wrong?
Well, it's just that a few years ago, he put a curse on my computer so I couldn't review movies in theaters anymore. Then when my fans kept requesting me to review Frozen, I was forced to cut a deal with him where he would allow me to review the movie, but then I'd have to review a movie of his choosing sometime in the near future.
Huh, and nothing has come up since?
Well, I did manage to find a loophole in his curse so I could review movies in theaters again, but only ones that have an 80% or higher rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And while I can manage that, the real problem is that he could spring the movie on me at any time he chooses, whether it be today, tomorrow, next month, next year, etc. It's starting to worry me. I've been kinda paranoid about it for a while, especially during my co-review with Diamanda Hagen.
Well, if he had the film ready for you, he would have given it to you by now. If anything, it's probably lost in his archive, or probably forgot about it until after reminding you. Hell, I can't even remember the last time he got me.
You mean Space Chimp?
Nope, can't remember at all. No, sir, not at all.
Alright, fine, live in your denial.
Well, anyway, at this point, it's probably not going to happen. So how about we do something together and calm the senses?
You mean, do a co-review?
Sure, why not? It's been a while, and it'd be nice to do something with you again. Heck, I'll even let you pick the movie. It can be good or bad, as long as it's animal-themed. That's how I roll.
Well, I do have an idea for the movie, but I'm not so sure. You see, I have these friends who might not be too crazy about me reviewing it, and...
Oh, what could go wrong? Go on, make my day.
Alright, but don't say I didn't warn you.
Here comes Hewy, gonna give you the news. Time to watch his animated movie reviews, whether hand-drawn, CGI, puppets or clay. If you've got a good story, you'll be making his day. See you at the movies, cartoon movies. See you at the movies, hold on to. See you at the movies, like nobody's biz. Hey, see you at the movies, animated movies that is.
Hey everyone, I'm Hewy Toonmore. Welcome to Hewy's Anime Movie Reviews, the show where I review anime films from old to recent, whether they be hand-drawn, stop-motion, or computer-generated.
And I'm Isaac the Media Hunter. Media's my prey, and reviewing them my way.
And today we've got something really special. And I mean really special.
Now don't worry, it's nothing like that Tom and Jerry movie we reviewed last time on my show. This movie is something else.
Right you are, Isaac. I'm sure all of you are aware of the 1994 Disney Renaissance smash hit, The Lion King.
Yes, an old favorite of mine. A coming-of-age story about a lion cub who becomes a king, goes through the hardship of responsibility, learning to let go of past faults, and learning the meaning of life. It'd be hard not to remember The Lion King.
Great, because we'll instead be reviewing the straight-to-video knockoff movie that was released the exact same year by Golden Films.
Yeah, wait, what knockoff? What did you rope me into this time?
What? Haven't you ever heard of Golden Films before? They've released such animated classics as The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and Beauty and the Beast. Twice!
What is this, another animated version of Asylum Films? And how do you release your own version of Beauty and the Beast twice? It's unheard of.
For those of you who are unfamiliar with what we're talking about, or have never seen any of Phalos' reviews, Golden Films is an American production studio founded in 1989 by Diane Eskenazi. The studio has produced a variety of animated film adaptations of classic fairy tales known collectively as the Enchanted Tales series. Some say this was done in order to provide a more non-violent entertainment experience than what Disney was doing with their adaptations. Others say it was to trick people into buying them thinking they were the actual Disney versions.
So which one of these golden films are we looking at then? Which one is the Lion King ripoff of the bunch?
Well, more like a ripoff in name only.
Huh?
I'll explain as we go along. Released a home video on June 21st, 1994, the movie is The Jungle King. So like with every other animated movie in the 90s trying to be like Disney, this one begins with, of course, a musical number.
I'm the king of the jungle and my word is law.
Oh my god, what is that? They really start off like that? They sound so dumb. I mean, my god, where do I even begin? The fact that this oddly sung song comes out of nowhere, or the animation quality? What is this place? It's got regular animals and then suddenly, boom! Anthropomorphic lion dressed like a king, him somehow pulling on a monkey without reaching that high, and suddenly more anthro animals in clothing? Where's the consistency, and why is this song so bad?
Anyway, this is King Maximilian III, the titular jungle king of the film. And this song is basically him stroking his massive ego about how much better he is than everyone else and how awesome it is to be king. Hey, it's bad enough that his singing sounds like he's doing a bad Louis Armstrong impression.
Just get out of my way when I do my thing. By the way, did I tell you I'm the jungle king?
At any rate, we get a look at his palace, which looks like the Taj Mahal for some reason. Well, I guess if you're going to have a movie with talking animals who wear clothes, take place in a jungle, an Indian-style palace would be appropriate. Well, either that or a grass hut. We then meet Maximilian's primary military lead, General Glump, who is a gorilla, and oh boy, is he annoying.
The troops are ready for inspection, Your Majesty.
Don't rush me, Glump.
Me, sir? No, sir, Your Highness. Oh, you're wrong, sir. I wasn't rushing you. No.
And don't contradict me.
Oh, no, sir, wrong again. I wasn't contradicting you. I mean, you're right, I was, but I won't. Never again, unless you want me to.
Oh god, it's like Jar Jar before Jar Jar! So as Glump picks himself up, he notices that he almost broke a picture of King Maximilian as a cub, along with his twin brother Erwin. However, Maximilian isn't too happy that Glump mentioned he had a brother and spouts off some exposition.
It was Erwin who abandoned the family, you recall? It was he who chose to stop speaking to me. I haven't seen him since we were 7 years old. Now he spends his time with his precious birds. Yuck! He's no brother of mine. And you'll never mention his name again, will you, Glump?
No, sir, not me.
Okay, it's silly enough that this whole hating your brother thing is due to liking birds, but what the hell is that? Glump is being forced back one moment, now he's walking forward before going back to his earlier walk cycle. For a movie that's only about an hour long, I'm starting to see plenty of animation errors.
Trust me, Isaac, there's plenty more where that came from. So as Maximilian secretly laments over the falling out with his brother, we then cut to his brother Erwin, who now lives in the jungle writing and illustrating a compendium of bird life with his supposed bird friend Daphne. Now even though he's considered to be a main character, we only ever get a minute of him before spending about 20 minutes or so focusing on his brother again.
Wait, what? By then we'll be about halfway through the movie, wouldn't we?
Pretty much. Back at the palace, we are introduced to our villain, King Maximilian's Chancellor,
Well, of course he's the villain, because he's a hyena. Why bother having a good hyena when you could just have him be like Jafar and have a talking parrot? Who kinda resembles Coco from Jungle Emperor Leo, or Jose Carrielca from the Three Caballeros.
Actually, his name is Ricardo, who's voiced by the only recognizable voice actor in the movie, Cam Clark, whom I've talked about before in my Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer review.
Nice chicken.
You parrot. Chicken. We could fry you and find out.
Okay, that was kind of funny.
Well, at least we get a look at his army. Pretty diverse in animals, just like the civilians. At least I can't complain about the lack of... How is this guy not dethroned yet? His army is just as bad as their general.
hear myself think about myself.
Oh, it's my fault, Your Majesty. They're angry because I don't let them see enough of you.
It's all right, good subjects. You'll see more of me.
Wow. Either Maximilian is extremely gullible or in serious denial.
Look at that. They give you the food from their mouths.
Oh, they do love me, don't they?
I'm starting to lean towards the former.
Nah, I betcha he's just in denial. No way he's that dumb.
As the crowd continues to boo and pelt Maximilian with vegetables, Chancellor spots one particular figure walking amongst them, a young lioness named Lionette.
Lionette. What's so special about her? I do not like your tone, bird. When I am king, she will be my queen.
Why? You didn't answer his question. Why a random street peasant and not someone from royalty?
Yeah, and just what makes her so special. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's pretty and all, but that can't be the only reason to choose her out of all the other female animals in the kingdom.
The questions you ask would be valid if you didn't bring them up too soon.
What the? Who the hell are you guys?
Oh, hey Benny, Leo.
You know them?
Yeah, remember that fanfiction group I mentioned in our review of Tom and Jerry Meet the Wizard of Oz, LionKingHeart Fantasy Films?
Oh, you mean the one to which you yourself did a fanfic spin-off series of that included me and Loki without our permission?
I said I was sorry.
What of it?
Well, these are their co-founders, Benny the Beast and Leo Lionheart.
Okay then, why are they here? Oh, these are the friends you warned me about, huh?
You two are reviewing a movie you haven't seen and know little to nothing about. Well, we're here to help you out by providing commentary as people who actually did watch the movie before.
Guys, I used to watch this movie all the time as a kid.
And how long ago was that?
I'll go into that more towards the end of the review.
Fair enough.
Okay then, why is this guy picking Lionette, a random peasant, to be his queen?
Well, it's like Gaston in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. He wants the best because he thinks he deserves the best.
So, basically, the villain is a depowered, animalized version of Jafar, but with a Gaston complex?
We'll let Big Mac answer that one.
Yep.
Anything else?
Well, going back to your argument about familiar voice actors, Lionette is voiced by 80s pop singer Irene Cara. I'm sure either of you are familiar with a little number called What a Feeling from the movie Flashdance, are you?
Whoa, seriously?
Well, that's pretty cool.
And she was also the voice of Beauty from Golden Film's first adaptation of Beauty and the Beast.
Here's another bit of trivia. The money that Golden Films makes from video sales goes to help starving children around the world.
Huh. Well, that's at least one nice thing then.
Look, guys, not trying to be disrespectful of your input or anything, but could Isaac and I get back to reviewing the movie, please?
By all means.
Thank you.
But just to let you know, this isn't the last time we'll be popping in during this review.
So, don't be surprised when the rest of our team members show up whenever you wrongfully criticize something about the movie.
I have no idea what that means, but hopefully it won't come to it.
Ditto.
Naturally, Maximilian sees her, pretty much ruining the Chancellor's plan of wanting to marry her on the spot, and like the uncaring king that he is, he wishes to have her married and sends Glump down to tell her. We get our first look at her family, and wow, we have obnoxious money-pinching wife, younger daughter who I can see growing up into her, and father who comes close to being reasonable, but has a running gag that involves him wanting to get rid of his wife.
Don't forget the long-haired surfer lingo talking stereotype brother.
Hey, hello, Your Majesty. We're with you, dude. Yeah, keep up the good work.
Oh, of course. How could I forget him? This movie, man. What even the hell?
Upon hearing the news from Glump that the king wishes to marry Lionette, her mother is ecstatic and urges Lionette to take him up on his offer so their family can benefit from the king's fortune. Unfortunately, Leonette isn't exactly fond of marrying such an egotistical monarch.
Mother, I wouldn't marry him if he were the last lion on Earth.
Prenuptial jitters. Everybody gets them. Perfectly natural.
I meant every word.
Now, honey, don't talk that way. Why wouldn't a nice girl like you want to marry a nice king like him so your family could move into a nice palace and enjoy a nice life for once?
For one thing, I don't love him. For another, I detest, despise, loathe, and abhor him.
That's being too generous. Surely there's more insults you can throw in than that.
Leonette tells Glump to tell the king she'll never marry him, but her mother, being the manipulative gold digger she is, goes behind her daughter's back, tells Glump that the wedding is still on, and that they'll see the king on Saturday.
Bye now. Until then, we'll bring the rice.
And by rice, she means the only dinner they can afford. Later that night, the Chancellor ponders about what to do about his plans, now that the king wants his girl, and decides to visit the neighboring country that's home to tigers, apparently, since it would seem they were working together to help him get the throne.
The tigers are ruled by Emperor Raj, also voiced by Cam Clark, who I swear looks like an animalized version of Abis Mal from Aladdin the Animated Series.
Well, at least now he's finally wearing the big hat, huh? If any of you out there get that reference, bravo.
What is it you want from me, Chancellor? Oh, no, Emperor Raj. I come to offer you something. Better not be another bridge. I keep writing letters to Brooklyn telling him to send it, but no reply.
I refuse to dignify that joke with a response.
I have a plan to take the throne from Maximilian, but there may be trouble from General Glump and his soldiers. Soldiers? 10 of my tigers could handle his entire army.
Why send 10 when you can just send 1? Hell, they're so pathetic, you could have your guy blow air at them and they'd fall.
Chancellor tells Raj that if he and his army were to help him neutralize Glump's troops so he could conquer the throne, a small portion of the kingdom will be given to him in return. However, Raj's general makes one small suggestion.
But perhaps Emperor Raj's share could extend to, say, here.
Ah, that could work.
Am I the only one who thinks this character is badass?
Probably because he sounds like Dr. Claw.
Not to mention he's dressed almost exactly like Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z.
So now it's Friday, and the Chancellor suggests Maximilian to go bathe before the big wedding tomorrow. We cut over to the jungle, and there are human hunters.
4 monkeys and 1 mongoose. Haven't we got enough to make the zoo happy, Everett?
Morgan, if this is all we catch after 3 months in the jungle, we can kiss our jobs goodbye.
Human hunters. Even though it looked like this was just a fictional world filled with anthropomorphic animals, we have humans? What?
Yeah, I agree with you, Isaac.
This just boggles my mind to no end. Why the hell are there human hunters in a movie about talking animals who wear clothes and live in houses? This makes no sense for so many reasons. First off, if there are humans in this movie, does that mean it takes place in our world? If so, then what country is the jungle in? It can't be Africa because there are tigers living there and they only found in Asia. And that can't be it because of the map Chancellor had when he was talking to Raj looked nothing like those 2 countries at all.
And finally, and most importantly, how the hell has Maximilian's kingdom not been discovered by humans yet? I mean, I don't think an Indian-style palace, or even a city for that matter, would be that hard to miss.
Oh, not again. What do you want now?
To come off in the middle of nowhere and scare you to pieces.
Hey, Ray, Johnny, good to see you two.
Huey, you weren't scared about this?
Nah, I'm used to it.
Then whom, may I ask?
Oh, these are Ray the Lioness and Johnny the Lion.
No relation.
Let me guess. You guys are here to defend the fact that there are humans in the movie, right?
Actually, I agree with you guys.
Huh?
Wait, you agree with us?
But you guys are anthros that share a world with humans, and so do Benny's creations.
Yeah, but at least we established that ahead of time. This just comes completely out of nowhere and without warning.
Good point.
Though that still doesn't explain what country this all takes place in, or why humans haven't discovered the city yet, or even how the animals can talk or wear clothes in the first place.
I don't think this is the kind of movie we're thinking is healthy.
Okay, you know what? Screw it. I'll just make my own theory. This movie takes place on the Isle of Naboombu from Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Say what?
I don't care if it's not Disney, it's the only reason I have for all this to make any sense.
I don't know. Sounds plausible to me, I guess. All it's missing is a soccer game.
Could we please just get back to doing the review now?
Proceed.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good luck, guys.
Anyway, where were we again?
Well, Ricardo does show up to lead the hunters to King Maximilian, who happens to be bathing in a small lake in the jungle. Wait, why is he bathing out in the jungle? Wouldn't you have a bathtub in the palace?
Why would they even have indoor plumbing?
Ew! Soon enough, King Maximilian is captured by the hunters, who drop a cage on top of him, and strangely enough, don't question why a lion is standing on its hind legs and wearing a towel.
You obviously don't know who I am. I happen to be King Maximilian III. You know him. Descendant of Maximilian II? Him, you know, descendant of Maximilian I. You fellows aren't from around here, are you?
And is speaking to them in English. What the?
Remember what Johnny said, Isaac. It's not healthy to think.
After a dumb moment involving the Chancellor scolding Ricardo for yelling out their plans. Really dumb moment. It turns out Glump overheard everything and will actually try to do something about it. The klutz doing something right? Who would have thought?
Excuse me.
They're doomed.
So now, after 22 minutes, Maximilian's brother Erwin finally plays an important part in the movie as Glump comes to him, explains what has happened to Max, and asks for Erwin to take his place in order to thwart Chancellor's plans of conquering the throne. Later that night, Leonette receives a marriage proposal from King Maximilian before he was captured, and once again, her family tries convincing her to marry him.
So go to the palace tomorrow. Talk to him. You'll find he's a nice boy.
Oh, I'll go, Mother. But only to give him a piece of my mind.
You will never be as good or cool as Belle.
I think she's alright.
Please, I've seen cuter. What? So now Glump is getting Erwin settled in so he can begin learning how to be a king, and
when you start on a job that you never did before,
Glump starts singing. Great.
You've got to look strong even though you're feeling shy. Keep your feet on the ground and your head up high.
I'm conflicted. Glump cannot sing, yet I dig the jam that's going on. Unless that's just another stock music thing. It's the only thing I like about this song, because otherwise, the lyrics just feel generic to me.
Not to mention, his singing voice sounds nothing like his speaking voice, since it sounds more Jamaican, whereas Glump clearly has an Indian accent.
So it doesn't take long for the Chancellor to meet Erwin and is completely fooled, thanks to Glump's directing, and he takes it well.
You failed me, Bert. The idiot king is right there in that room, in all his glorious thick-headed denseness.
But I know they...
Thanks to you, I'll have to take more drastic steps.
Wow. He must be blind because I don't think Erwin looks anything like his brother.
Why's that?
Well, just look at him. Maximilian has a reddish-brown mane with brown eyes, thick eyebrows, whiskers, and a face that seems commanding and intimidating. Erwin, on the other hand, has a golden-brown mane with blue eyes, thin eyebrows, no whiskers, and a more friendly-looking demeanor. Yeah, the shape of their manes and heads may look similar, as well as having the same voice actor, but other than that, they barely resemble each other in the slightest. If they're supposed to be identical twins, I can easily tell them apart.
Well, at least Leonette has an excuse, since she's never seen him up close.
What an ego.
Or never mind. Well, then again, she's probably never heard him speak in her general direction.
You have made your king happy by accepting his invitation to visit the palace.
You didn't invite me. It was my idea to come.
Of course. What am I thinking? I get confused, being king, which I am.
How does she not realize he's acting?
Keep watching. It gets worse.
So many decisions, like, which country to overrun, who to behead,
Behead?
Well, you know, we use a dull axe. It's less painful that way. Actually, we don't really behead them anymore. We just send them to a barber for a trim. Personally, I detest violence.
I can see this was a mistake.
Smartest thing you've said so far.
What I'm trying to say is, will you please stay for breakfast?
Come on, Erwin. You really think she's gonna stay after the creepy weirdo act you just put on? She's a heck of a lot smarter than that.
You're not at all what I thought you'd be.
Then again, this is the same girl who can't even tell the difference between you and a portrait of the real King Maximilian.
After checking in on Maximilian with Ricardo unintentionally blurting out what he was pretty much doing at this point, we see Erwin walking amongst the populace with no guards and people muttering to themselves at what it is they're seeing.
During his little walk, an angry-looking mouse walks up to him and begins spouting off in his face.
I haven't had any work in 10 years. My family's hungry.
Now, how come a tough mouse like you can't get any work?
You made it a law. My mice aren't allowed to work.
I did? Well, that's a pretty stupid law. I'll change it.
What did you say?
I changed the law. Mice can work whenever they want.
You know, Hewy, for a movie that's supposedly a Lion King knockoff, nothing about it, except for the title, resembles The Lion King in the slightest.
Yeah, you're right. The Lion King was more like an animal adaptation of Hamlet. This movie is more like... Oh my god. I just realized something. A king who is taken out of power and is secretly replaced by his twin who masquerades as the king and changes the laws he made. That's the plot to The Man in the Iron Mask!
What's The Man in the Iron Mask?
Look it up on Google. It's by the same guy who wrote The Three Musketeers.
So soon he starts changing more laws and suddenly everyone is starting to like him. Ricardo informs the Chancellor about what he found and decides to change his plans to something more
sinister and a bit more permanent.
So basically getting rid of him. I think when you put them together, you imply death. Then we get a dinner scene between Erwin and Leonette.
Ricardo, meanwhile, watches over the two from a nearby branch, and despite helping the Chancellor, can't help but sympathize with their romance. So just guess what he does next.
And I know that soon there'll be a bride and groom. I go boom, chicky, boom, chicky, boom.
You still think he isn't one of the three caballeros? I love how Erwin and Leonette don't even care someone is singing and flying around them. Usually the singer stays just far enough to give them some room, but he's right up at them.
Are we sure they even see or hear him right now? Maybe they're ignoring him because his singing voice is awful.
Well, either way, 10 minutes left in this movie. What could possibly happen in that time?
Well, just as Erwin is about to tell Leonette the truth about who he really is, Daphne flies in with a note from General Glump tied to her leg.
Dear Erwin, your brother's been captured by hunters. I'll try to free him. I think Raj may attack the city. You must hold out until I return with Max.
Erwin?
Yeah, it's a code name.
Was she listening to the inner monologue, or is she able to actually read Wrigley lines?
It's been a lie. Right from the start.
Listen, Leonette, this wasn't my...
You're worse than King Maximilian. At least he is what he is. You're just a fake.
Leonette.
Serves me right for trusting you. I never want to see you again. Whoever you are.
Did she just say what I think she just said?
Yes. Yes, she did.
Leonette thinks Erwin is worse than King Maximilian because he told a lie. What a stupid, ungrateful bitch!
Hi again, fellas.
I take it you're here to defend this one too?
What, are you crazy? Of course not.
Huh?
Wait, weren't you the one defending this movie, Benny?
Yeah, but other times in the movie, Leonette was actually using her brain. Here, she just flat out insults him without asking why. Especially after he convinced her that he's a good person. That should have really mattered to her. Worst of all, he had a good explanation he was about to deliver, and she didn't let him speak.
Yeah, seriously! King Maximilian is a vain, selfish, oblivious, arrogant tyrant who makes up ridiculous laws that oppress the people of his kingdom, and yet Lionette thinks Erwin, a nice, kind, good-hearted lion who abolished all the bad laws and makes the people of the kingdom happy, is considered worse just because he lied about who he was? That's like saying Martin Luther King Jr. was worse than Adolf Hitler because he didn't like broccoli or something.
You know who actually was in the same situation and got it right? Princess Jasmine. She found out Aladdin was lying to her about being a prince, but she never said he was the worst person in the world. She just asked him why. It's not that hard.
It really astounds me the level of incompetence the writing is here. Nothing feels legit to me, from their love to this sudden outburst. It's like they needed a reason to separate the two, and all they can think of is, I hate you, you a terrible liar. I guess this is what they call character derailment?
Nah, let's face it, she never had any character to begin with.
I guess for that brief moment, the war between the tigers and the rest of the animal kingdom was suddenly forgotten about. Wars usually do separate lovers and family members from each other, but here, it's just, you got caught in a lie, and now I have a reason to hate you again and leave you.
That's another thing. When the tiger army is approaching the city, does Lionette take her family to be safe in the palace? No! She just stays in their house because Erwin lied about being Maximilian. Hell, even her selfish family points this out!
If you married the king, we'd be safe in the palace now.
I keep telling you, he's not the king. He's someone named Erwin.
That's not the point your brother, who spent less time getting to know the king than you did, was making, and it's actually the smartest thing anyone in your family has said at this point.
Things that bother you never bother me. I feel happy and fine. Ha-ha! Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Wow. I haven't rented that hard since the mighty Kong.
This is going to be quite a painful 10 minutes at this rate.
We made it this far. Might as well go the distance.
You're going to stick around, Benny?
Yeah, why not? I remember things getting a little better near the end.
You better be right about that.
So with Glump gone, Erwin tries to whip the army into shape as the tigers approach upon the city. Though surprisingly, he's even worse at leading them than Glump.
Why are you so surprised? He spent most of his time with birds and getting to know Lionette. He never learned to fight, and he even said it himself he detests violence.
Personally, I detest violence.
Meanwhile, Glump manages to save Maximilian while all the humans are asleep. Rather easily, too. No tension or anything, just grab the key and go. Morning comes, Raj begins his assault, and... the overture from Carmen?
Oh, if you can't afford an original orchestra recording, you can at least use music in the public domain for free.
I guess that makes sense. And of course, the Chancellor gets double-crossed. This is what you get for trying to reason with an emperor.
So you'll be decorating a wall in Emperor Roger's trophy room?
No, we had a deal.
Come, we have a city to conquer.
What do you mean you have a city to conquer? You've taken a palace. The city's pretty much yours already. War over.
It's one thing to take the palace. It's another to get everyone to listen to you. Besides, Max is still the king, so they would have to do away with him first.
And of course he happens to end up on top of Lionette's house so he can jump down the chimney to take her.
You're coming with me. Anyone tries to stop me and the fur's gonna fly.
And how do you plan on doing that? Just as it seems the army is going to fall, the villagers decide to take up arms because...
He's changed his ways! Don't we owe him something in return?
He's done away with the old laws. He said he wanted us to be happy. We should help him.
And that suddenly makes them able to fight normally.
Can these be my subjects? But why does it surprise you, Highness? I'm not a fool, Glump. I chose to believe they loved me, but I knew the truth.
Called it!
So the two brothers reunite, Erwin goes off to rescue Lionette, and Max stays to fight off the tigers, even getting help from Erwin's bird friends, and even Glump comes in with two non-anthropomorphic elephants.
Wow, I bet the anthro-elephants must be so confused right about now.
They're not essential to the story. Moving on.
Back at Lionette's house, Erwin arrives just in time to rescue her from Chancellor.
Oh no, don't tell me it's King Maximilian come to rescue fair Lionette. No, it's Erwin.
Your history, Erwin.
Okay, really? Night on Bald Mountain? That fight doesn't even last long, and the rest is just Leonette kicking the Chancellor. Kind of a waste, don't you think?
I've seen this movie a dozen times, and I still never got why she didn't do that sooner.
Listen to what she says while she's kicking him.
How dare you attack me and my family? How dare you attack the lion I love?
The lion you love? Aren't you the one who refused to move you and your family into the palace to be safe from the tigers just because he lied about being king?
And since when did you realize you loved him? You had one date and you insulted him when you found out he wasn't the king, which he was going to tell you if you'd stop talking for 1 minute.
At this point, I can't even bother questioning. There's only 3 minutes left. Let's just roll with it.
Erwin, I didn't think you could fight like that.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't have insulted your mother.
When did he insult her mother?
So with the day saved, Maximilian awards Erwin for his efforts and even offers him to share the throne with him. Guess this means he's going to change now. But Erwin decides to go back to the jungle with Leonette to continue his bird compendium thing. Also, last minute Ricardo redemption, I guess. And so that was The Jungle King. Well, Benny, after everything that's been said about this movie during the review, from the animation quality to the characters and the plot holes, you can't honestly expect Isaac and I to believe that you still enjoy watching it, do you?
Yeah, I still like it.
What?
Well, Hewy, I don't expect you guys to believe everything I say, but the truth is my opinion of it hasn't changed. I still enjoy The Jungle King even though I'm aware of its flaws. All in all, it's a harmless movie about talking animals made specifically for little children.
You know, Benny, I actually kinda have to agree with you.
Yeah, me too. Kinda.
Now, don't get me wrong, I still don't technically consider this a good movie or anything. I mean, the animation is almost, if not just as bad as The Mighty Kong, the songs are just laughably bad, the characters are just cardboard cutouts of characters we've seen in other children's movies, and the story has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. However, while the movie was clearly made just to cash in on The Lion King, I do have to commend it for not being a straight-up knockoff, save for the title, and for at least trying to be original. At the very least, they didn't copy the story the audience was expecting. And I admit that I did at least like a few of the characters, like Ricardo, Erwin, and yeah, even Leonette when she was being written properly. Heck, I even think she and Erwin make a very cute couple. As for the public domain music, as cheap a tactic as it may be, I was pleasantly surprised that each piece fit the scene they were used in, especially the final battle near the end.
I pretty much have to agree with most of what you said, and for me it's enough to where I can enjoy it as a so bad it's good kind of movie. There's plenty of animation errors, inconsistencies, as well as it being choppy. The writing makes it feel rushed in order to fit its hour time frame, and the silliest of a lot of characters and certain songs. But it's mostly harmless in that I can't really see myself hating it, no matter what. It's just fun to poke fun at it, as you know there are better animated movies like it out there. I'd say it's worth it just to riff on it, or even have a drinking game with it.
It's also worth showing to children who are still too young for Disney. And yes, there is such a thing.
So together, we give this movie a rating of 2.5 stars out of 5. Not bad, not good, just somewhere in between. Besides, we all know that there are many more Disney ripoffs out there in the world, far worse than anything in the Golden Films library.
Yeah, does Video Bring Quato ring a bell?
Or GM Tunes?
Or even Orlando Karate for that matter.
Who?
I'll talk more about him some other time. Anyway, that's all for now. I'd like to thank both the Media Hunter for helping me review the film, and the cast and crew of the LionKingHeart Fantasy Films team for making it much more interesting than I originally anticipated.
Indeed. That was pretty fun. Thanks for having me.
And that goes quadruple for us.
No problem, guys. It was great having you all on. We should definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, you guys really aren't so bad.
Thank you, Isaac. My team and I really appreciate that.
I'll say we do, big guy.
You know, Hewy, there's another reason we all come here.
Oh, and what's that?
You see, we heard about all the stuff Count Seagia's been doing to you and your other reviewer friends.
Including you, Isaac.
Please, don't remind me. Space Chimps 2 was bad enough. It will never leave me.
And we heard about the surprise movie he's planning for you to review, Hewy.
Oh, yeah. Almost forgot about that.
Johnny!
Ow, okay, I'm sorry. Sheesh.
The point is, guys, you don't have to go through this alone.
Leo's right.
Definitely. Rather than making a long speech about friendship and heart of the cards and stuff, we'll just say flat out that we have your back anytime you ask.
Really?
If you have any future problems with that hoity-toity Gary's Mod lunatic, give us a call and we'll be there to lend you a hand. Or paw in this case.
Wow. Thanks, guys. I don't know what to say.
Well, how about saying your closing catchphrase?
Oh, right. So until my next review, loyal viewers, this is Hewy Toonmore, Isaac the Media Hunter, and the cast and crew of LionKingHeart Fantasy Films saying, see you at the movies!
Animated
movies, that is.